As an England fan, as we never win anything, wouldn't it be nice if we could just join a domestic league and start to win things? Like join, I don't know, the Bulgarian Premier League or something and just dominate. Well, that's kind of the plan of one national team, sort of. Malta are currently going through plans to join the Italian Serie G so that they can dominate Europe. But not everyone in Malta is keen on the idea. Why is that? This guy is the president of the Malta FA and he came up with a genius idea to improve the national team's confidence, technique, physicality, mentality and professionalism. His words, not mine. In a country with a population less than 500,000 and whose best qualifying for any tournament was 5 points in Euro 2008, but still finished bottom of the group. You have to admire the ambition, and the idea is known as the Liga Pro project. Vassalo came up with it around 2019, but plans are put on hold due to some minor event going on. There's just no commitment these days, is there? The idea is that they'll create a team which will include at least 10 Maltese players and for them to play and train in Malta, with the eventual goal to increase the number of Maltese players overseas, thereby increasing Maltese players' abilities and in turn the ability of the national team and so on. They've also got plans for a second team to play in the Italian Under-19 league, but I won't bore you with that bit here. It seems a great idea for a small nation to improve, in theory, but not everyone in Malta is in love with the idea. Why is that? Why would they be against their national team improving? Well, ex-Prime Minister Joseph Muscat was supposed to have a big role in the team, and this is where the controversy begins. Muscat told Vassalo he'd give €9 million of government funds to the project, with a gentleman's agreement with a handshake that he would take over the team's administration when he left office. At this point the pandemic ruined all their plans, and Muscat's successor, Roberto Abela, didn't want Muscat to have any sort of power, so the €9 million was never given to the MFA. And there's a good reason Abela didn't want Muscat to have any power. You see, Muscat was forced out of office due to the unprecedented corruption and criminal activity which has taken over his government, for which he was recently charged. Not a good foundation for a politician. And corruption and Malta go hand in hand, with a study a couple of years back suggesting 1 in 6 players in Malta have been approached to match fix. A couple of years back, one of their biggest teams, Amran Spartans, were punished for an old match-fixing scandal, and their punishment was to be banned from the Champions League. Yes, banning a team from a competition in which, in this format, they've never got past the first qualifying match. A decision which is about as useful as Stephen Hawking's treadmill. Now, corruption and controversy are never far away from football in Malta. Even Juve manager Massimo Allegri was under investigation for money laundering using the Maltese company. And I know it's hard to believe that anyone associated with Juventus would be involved in anything dodgy, but in any case there doesn't seem to be many updates on that since the story broke in 2021, although the company were already under investigation for fraud, tax evasion and mafia links, so it don't look good, does it? The owner of the company, Antonio Ricci, had over €400 million of assets seized, but in late 2019 had all charges dropped. Locals are also worried that the Maltese players would need support from foreign players to compete, which would mean the FA subsidising the wages of overseas players. Ching ching. What about these days? There doesn't seem to be much of an update since then, the most recent mention I can find being a World Soccer article in January 2022 suggesting the plans are still on the back burner for now. I even reached out to the Malta FA on social media, but they blanked me. Oh, rude. But Vassalo ain't no dummy. He's worked for both UEFA and FIFA, not exactly beacons of integrity themselves in recent years though, so I'm sure he's still working on the idea. And Malta are in need of any help they can get, currently ranked 168 in the world, in between the powerhouses of St Lucia and Myanmar, and their 5 points in World Cup 22 qualifying matched their previous best in 2008, another group they finished bottom of. That's not even considering Vassalo's plans of a €50 million redevelopment of the national stadium. It's quite funny that Oya, the company accused of laundering money for Allegri, sponsored the Maltese FA's Integrity Tour in 2014, designed to beat match fixing in Maltese football. The irony. Quite an interesting project in theory, match fixing and corruption aside, and it would be interesting to see if Europe's 5th worst team can pull it off. So what do you think? Do you think it can work? Do you think the project will even go ahead after all these delays? Let me know below. Thanks for watching. Watch these because they're awesome. You're awesome for watching, and see you later.